Why does the five-pointed star, the demonic star, the star of Lucifer, why is it 5 points and why is it pointing downward? Well, that is because the 5 points actually symbolize the 5 senses. Okay, Lucifer, you have to understand, Luz in Latin meant light. And historically, Lucifer is the planet Venus. Now that's because, and it makes total sense when you learn the story, okay? Again, the word light in Latin is luz, and the third brightest light in the sky, it goes the sun, the moon, then the planet Venus. So thousands of years ago, they used to look up at the sky and see the brightest light in the sky, and they would call it luz, which meant bright light. Now luz, over time, what happens is when the sun begins to come out and appear again, you cannot see Luz anymore. Luz starts to disappear. Now, why is that? That's because the sun is so brilliant, and the sun is so bright, and the sun is so luminous, and the sun has always been known as God's son, because God made the sun. That the ancient people knew and they understood. They didn't make the sun, God made the sun. It's God's son. And they also understood that because the sun rises, the sun was the risen Savior. And the sun rose and saved them. And it does, because if the sun did not rise and did not come back, we would all be frozen. And we would not have life here. The sun is the giver of life. So when the Son of God would appear, you could no longer see Luz. Luz became an arch enemy of the Son of God. It became an antichrist, one who wants to replace Christ. Okay, that became Lucifer over time, the character that is replacing Christ, the Antichrist. Okay, we're talking about the planet Venus. That's why if you pick up an actual dictionary and look inside of it, not a Google dictionary, but if you go into a library and look in a dictionary, the first thing it will tell you is that Lucifer is the planet Venus. Okay, now when Lucifer fell from heaven, okay, the downward facing star is facing downward because you have 5 points. That is the 5 senses. And when we are here on earth in this physical plane of existence, we are consumed by the 5 senses. They completely consume us. Okay, all of them. When we hear something that we like, oh, I want to hear more of that. I want to go to that show. I want this. I want that. And then when you get to the show, oh, that smells good. I want more of that. And it keeps you in the material realm, the 5 senses. Okay, when you can eliminate the 5 senses through meditation, you can rise. Lucifer symbolizes the carnal mind. Okay, which is the 5 senses, which is the physical plane, which is the lower self. Okay, the carnal mind is the lower mind. It's the lizard brain. Okay, the Christ consciousness is inside of us when we elevate our mind and we go outside of the 5 senses. You have to understand. That's why in the story of David and Goliath, David kills Goliath. He shines up 5 stones. Really pretty 5 stones, and he takes a slingshot and he slings 1 stone and it hits him right in the forehead. And David kills the beast. Now David is Goliath. Goliath is David. You are David. You are Goliath. David is your higher mind. David is your higher consciousness. David is your Christ consciousness. It's your inner Christ rising. It's the rising of the Kundalini. It's all of these things. It's the Santa Claus, okay? It's all of this stuff, the rising. What people are not connecting is that all of these stories in the Bible are not to be taken literal, which is exactly why Jesus speaks in metaphors, man. Jesus says in the Bible that he speaks in allegory. Allegories are metaphors. Okay? And why does he say this? He says, because I tell people and they don't listen. I'm speaking and no one's listening to me. Okay? I'm saying to do all this stuff and no one's doing anything. You guys call me the Lord, but you don't do anything I say. That's what he says. Because he's trying to tell people, in order to have a relationship with God, you have to silence the mind. all right? The mind is the ship. And in the Bible, it talks many times about boats or ships and the oceans. The ocean is your mind, okay? The ship is you in your mind. And when, for another example, when Jesus is on the boat with his disciples, and he tells his disciples, cast your net to the right side of the boat. He is referring to the right side of your brain. We have the right side, which is emotional. We have the left side, which is analytical. The right side of your brain is the side of your brain that thinks, wow, is there a God? And you look up at the sky and, oh, there's God. I wonder what God is. And then your left side of your brain, the analytical side, the mathematical side, the side that wants to figure it out and chop it up and put it in a box, is already kicking the crap out of the right side of your brain, going, oh yeah, there is a God, but he's got a beard and he's white and he sits in a cloud and he sits on a red throne and he's got a big long staff and he marks out orders and he's blah blah. That's your left side trying to take over your right side. When you can cast your net to the right side, you can cast your thoughts to the right side. You can silence the left side, the analytical side, and you can then focus on the right side in your emotion, in that side of your brain, that not the analytical side, okay? Do you understand? When you can focus on that side and cast your thoughts into that side, you can then calm your mind, calm the storm in your mind, the chaos, the oceans of chaos. We are made of water, ladies and gentlemen. We're made of water. We have an oceans of sea water, literal salt water rushing through our bodies. We are made of water. It's in our brain. It's all over the place. The oceans of chaos are all of the nerves and just the chaos going on in your mind. All of these stories are metaphors, okay? They're trying to explain to you exactly what you need to do to be in heaven, okay? Heaven, H-E-A, root for heaven comes for head, okay? The root of hell is in heel. That's because your heel is your lowest root chakra, where you keep emotion and where your five senses are felt in those lower chakras, and you get stuck in those lower chakras and you don't ascend up the vertebrae, up the 33 vertebrae, okay, for the years of Christ. The word Christ goes back to the word Christos in Greek. The word Christos means oil. Okay, it's the oil that comes out, secreted out of your pineal gland, that goes down your spine, transmutes into a gas, is lit up by your solar plexus, and comes back up and rises and awakens the Kundalini. Okay, all this pineal gland symbolism that's all over the Bible. It says in Genesis, I forget, 31:30 maybe, that Jacob met God at the pineal. Okay, that's the pineal gland. Jacob met God at the pineal gland. Of course he did, because God is inside you. It says that too. All right? So, I mean, it says that in Luke 21:20 maybe. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. Okay? You have to understand this book is trying to teach us something that everyone is taking literal. Everyone is just, they're being confused and led down the wrong path. You know, where I just posted a video of a transgender guy, you know, who's a pastor wearing the robe and preaching to the church and this and that, and it's silly. I mean, it's insane. The church just makes up new rules and changes things whenever they feel like they need to get more viewers. It's all about brainwashing you and getting more viewership and getting more money. They don't actually follow the Bible. Because in the Bible it says, do not make images, do not make carved stones, do not kneel to them, do not pray to them. It says that. But yet people go to church and they do exactly that. They do exactly what the Bible tells them not to do. Because these preachers are not telling you. They're not telling you the truth. They're not teaching you the truth. They're not teaching you that the symbol on the Eucharist is literally the most ancient symbol in the world for the sun in the sky, not a man. They don't tell you that the body of Christ, they don't tell you where this stuff comes from. All the crazy cannibalism that used to take place in the ancient world. When someone in a village was smart or talented, what they would do, they wouldn't last very long, because the villagers would get together and say, Jimmy's pretty talented, huh? It's amazing. He sings so many songs. How does he even know these songs? This guy recites poetry for days. He remembers poetry. He's got books inside his head. We need to kill him and eat him, because that will, that will get us intelligent. We'll be able to absorb his intelligence through his flesh, and we'll drink his blood, and we'll eat his flesh, and it's awesome. And we'll be Jimmy. We'll be as smart as Jimmy. And that's what they did for thousands of years. Okay, so you have to understand all of this stuff, it's rooted in paganism, and the word pagan means villager. Okay? The whole reason why Jesus' birthday is on December 25th is because that is the day of the winter solstice. That is when the sun sets in the same position for 3 days and then begins to move again. This is visibly observable. So when people say, oh, what do you mean you don't believe that a man came back from the dead and died on a cross and came back and now we're waiting for him? No, I don't. I don't believe that, because it happens every year. It's been happening forever. It's a story. It happens. You can look up, look in the sky, watch it happen. You can go to temples and watch the sun set in the same position for 3 days and then all of a sudden start moving again. So the sun, which set in the same position every day of the year except for 3 days, dies and then is resurrected. This is the oldest motif in the world, okay? It's a very old story that's been told over and over again, and that is the winter solstice, the death of the sun. This is, again, a visual thing that you can see in the sky, all right? It says in the Bible, it says that the time is at hand. This is in Revelation. It says the time is at hand. That means now. It doesn't mean later. The time is at hand. This book has been around for a long time. So it meant the time is at hand then, when the book was put out. It means the time is at hand now, right now. And when people are reading it in 200 years, it's going to mean the time is at hand for them in 200 years. That's why I kind of think it's funny when people really are sitting here waiting for Jesus to come back. It's like, dude, you've been waiting a long time. People have been waiting now for thousands of years, and he hasn't come back. It's not happening. Okay? That is a motif. It's a story. And it's not gonna happen. And it says in the Bible that the time is now. The time is at hand now. Because it's about now. The book is about you. It's about your mind, your emotions, silencing the thoughts, having a relationship with God. I can't really teach people much. All I can teach you is honestly that the most you can ever learn is by silencing your mind and forgetting everything that you know. That's the most you could ever learn. That's how you learn. You have to unlearn. You know, I just told somebody today, the mind has no limits. The mind does not know limitation, okay? It has no limit. So when you come out of the gate, when you're born, your mind it doesn't know what you're gonna do. It doesn't know where you're gonna take it, and it doesn't care. It has no limit. It's limitless. What we do is we fill our bowl. So you have a bowl, an empty bowl that has endless potential. You can put whatever you want in that bowl. You can put a delicious salad, healthy thing in that bowl, or you can put shit in the bowl. And unfortunately, we fill our bowls up with crap, with toxic poisons and toxic chemicals and garbage information, and we fill our bowl to the tippity top until it's spilling over, and then we wonder why our life is a mess and we're unhappy and we can't manage our emotions and we can't manage our finances and we can't figure anything out, and we're stuck and we feel like we're in an endless loop of nonsense. We wonder why. I believe it's because we have a brain that has the capability of almost endless potential, and we are putting a blocker on it. We're putting a governor on our potential by filling our bowl up with never-ending crap and weighing ourselves down with useless bullshit that's never going to help us. The best thing you could do is take all that stuff in the bowl and ditch it. Throw it out. Start over. Clean the bowl. Clean it out. Detox the bowl. Do everything you can do to put that bowl through a high-pressure washer and get all the shit out. And that's what I've done. I've done that through fasting, through meditation, through parasite detoxes, through heavy metal detoxes, through changing my diet, changing my regimen, changing what I listen to, everything. And you know, it works when you're able to do that, when you're able to clean your bowl out and you can start to refill it with important information, things that are true. All right, and that's my lesson for today. I hope that all of you are willing to learn. That's what it takes. If you're not willing to learn because you think you know everything already, you're never going to learn. You're just going to be stuck in that cycle and you're never going to get out. How do you break a cycle? You are the Ouroboros. You are the snake that eats its tail. Okay? How do you break that cycle? You stop. You stop and rest your mind and humble yourself and start to learn. Start to understand things on a different level. Start to say, okay, well, I'm going to approach this different. I want to see the other side of this story. I want to understand it. I don't want to just believe it. I want to understand it. I don't believe anything anymore unless I can understand it. Because then I'm just a gullible guy that's going to believe in anything. All right? If someone comes up to me and says, you know, oh, I just saw a zombie in the backyard. You did? Oh, okay, cool. I'm not going to believe that because I don't understand that. If you can show it to me and I can question the person and then I can understand it, I can question the guy or girl and figure out if this person really is a zombie and I can actually understand it, I'm not going to believe it. Because you shouldn't. You shouldn't believe in anything you can't understand. I believe in God because it's the only thing that makes sense, is that there is a God, but it's not a person, it's not a man that's coming down, it's a force, it's an energy, it's in everything. It's in the breath that we take, it's in the air that we breathe, it's in the trees that we see, it's in the light, it's all of it. It's a universal everything. It's not feminine, it's not masculine, it's just it. It is what it is. Okay? And if you can accept that and you can stop looking at God as, putting him in a box and categorizing him. If you can stop looking at God even as putting it as a him. And you can start looking at God as a universal force of love and beauty, and then things are going to start changing for you. You know, it's interesting because I ask a lot of questions and I'm open to receiving answers, and all the answers that I receive make sense. And I receive them all the time. If I ask a question, by the end of the day, I get an answer in one way or another. It comes in any form. It'll come in, a commercial will come on and the word will pop in. And wow, that's interesting. So it's amazing when you're open to it. If you're not open to it, you're not going to receive information. Okay? You are a receiver. The sun, the photon, the light of the world, this photon in the sky is the messenger. You are the receiver of the message. Okay? And it's interesting because if you can start to clear your mind, you will start to actually receive a message. Most people, though, they don't believe it. They want to, oh, no, you're a quack. That's not true. Meditation's stupid. It doesn't do anything. Okay, live like that. That's okay. I was like that, too, for about 34 years. And then I had a nervous breakdown. I hated my life. I was severely depressed. I was overweight. I was miserable. I didn't have anything. I didn't own anything. I thought my life was meaningless. You know, I was miserable, and I did some real searching and I did some real research, and I started giving other ideas a thought. I started looking at the other side of the story. I started listening to different people that have what I wanted, and lo and behold, you know, it changed my entire life. So anyone can do it. It's up to you. I love you all so much. This is my opinion, and I hope to see you at my website.